Scientists say summer fires, floods, heat waves, crazy weather indicate global warming. Weather fits predictions. There's no time to waste, says climatologist. Floods, fires, melting ice, and feverish heat. From smoke-choked Moscow to water-soaked Pakistan and the high Arctic, the planet seems to be having a midsummer breakdown. It's not just a portent of things to come, scientists say, but a sign of troubling climate change already underway. In other words, it's already happening. The weather-related cataclysms or catastrophes of July and August fit patterns predicted by climate scientists. The Geneva-based World Meteorological Organization says, although those scientists always shy from tying individual disasters directly to global warming, experts now see an urgent need for better ways to forecast extreme events like Russia's heat wave and wildfires and the record floods devastating Pakistan. They'll discuss such tools in meetings this month and next in Europe and America under United Nations, U.S. and British government sponsorship. There's no time to waste because societies must be equipped to deal with global warming, says British government climatologist Peter Stott. He said modelers of climate systems are very keen to develop supercomputer modeling that would enable more detailed linking of cause and effect as a warming world shifts jet streams and other atmospheric currents. Those changes can wreak weather havoc. United Nations Network of Climate Scientists, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, has long predicted that rising global temperatures would produce more frequent and intense heat waves and more intense rainfalls or floods. In its latest assessment in 2007, the Nobel Prize-winning panel went beyond that. It said these trends have already been observed in an increase in heat waves since 1950, for example. Still, climatologists generally refrain from blaming warming for this drought or that flood, since so many other factors also affect today's weather. Stott and NASA's Gavin Schmidt at the Goddard Institute of Space Studies in New York says better to think in terms of odds. Warming might double the chances for a heat wave, for example. That is exactly what's happening, Schmidt said. A lot more warm extremes and less cold extremes. The WMO did point out, however, that this summer's events fit the international scientists' projections of more frequent and more intense extreme weather events due to global warming. In fact, in key cases, they're a perfect fit. Russia heat. It's been the hottest summer ever recorded in Russia, with Moscow temperatures topping 100 degrees Fahrenheit for the first time ever. The drought there has sparked hundreds and hundreds of wildfires in forests and dried peat bogs, blanketing western Russia with a toxic smog. Moscow's death rate has doubled to 700 people a day. The drought reduced the wheat harvest by more than one-third. The 2007 IPCC report predicted a doubling of disastrous droughts in Russia this century and cited studies foreseeing catastrophic fires during dry years. It also said Russia would suffer large crop losses. Pakistan monsoon. The heaviest monsoon rains on record, 12 inches in one 36-hour period, have sent rivers rampaging over huge areas of countryside. It's left 14 million Pakistanis homeless or otherwise affected, and killed at least 1,600. The government calls it the worst natural disaster in the nation's history. A warmer atmosphere can hold and discharge more water. The 2007 IPCC report said rains have grown heavier for 40 years over northern Pakistan and predicted greater flooding this century in South Asia's monsoon region. China floods. China is witnessing its worst floods in decades, the WMO says, particularly in the northwest province of Gansu. There, floods and landslides last weekend killed at least 1,117 people and left many more hundreds missing. The IPCC reported in 2007 that rains had increased in northwest China by up to 33% since 1961, and floods nationwide had increased sevenfold since the 1950s. It predicted still more frequent flooding this century. Arctic Ice Island. Researchers last week spotted a 100 square mile chunk of ice calved off from the Great Petermann Glacier in Greenland's far northwest. It was the most massive ice island to break away in the Arctic in a half a century of observation. The huge iceberg appeared just 5 months after an international scientific team published a report saying ice loss from the Greenland ice sheet is expanding up its northwest coast from the south. Changes in the ice sheet are happening fast or rapidly, and we are definitely losing more ice mass than we had anticipated. In the Arctic Ocean itself, the summer melt of the vast ice cap has reached unprecedented proportions. Satellite data show the ocean area covered by ice last month was the second lowest ever recorded for July. The melting of land ice into the oceans is causing approximately 60% of the accelerating rise in sea levels worldwide, with thermal expansion from warming waters causing the rest. Hottest first half of a year in at least 150 years. Worldwide temperature readings, meanwhile, show that this January to June was the hottest first half of a year in 150 years of global climate record keeping. Meteorologists say 17 nations have recorded all-time high temperatures in 2010, more than in any other year. Scientists blame the warming on carbon dioxide and other heat-trapping gases pouring into the atmosphere from power plants, vehicles, furnaces, and other fossil fuel-burning industrial and residential sources. Experts are growing ever more vocal in urging sharp cutbacks in emissions to protect the climate that has nurtured modern civilization. The U.S. remains the only major industrialized nation not to have legislated caps on carbon emissions. And all these are more signs of the times. Everything is related, or everything is connected, and everything is numbered. Revelation chapter 9. The fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. 2. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. 3. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. 4. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those humans which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. 5. And to them it was given they should not kill them, but they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he strikes a man. 6. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. 7. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses, prepared unto battle. On their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. And these are the end times transition days, which is a process. In other words, everything that must change quickly or rapidly, and for the better. And there are many kinds of signs happening day by day all around the world.